Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's NSA Pro race number 10 from the Netherlands. Yes, there has been a change in the name for Sim Racing Heat, but the day and the time we get started has not changed. So we're still here for Monday night Formula One racing, and we will be covering the 10th race of this 5th season for this league. And as you can see, we are rounding out the second of third parts of the championship, and then it will be a short sprint to the end in 1 month time. We'll be having the race result up for you, and Control took his first season's win in Jeddah after beating Rija Jamankovic, our reserve driver, for 2 races to the flag. And if you've watched this race, you've noticed that there was a late safety car, and Rija as well as Control, it was a virtual safety car to be fair, pitted for a new fresh tire. And as you can see, difference, Control made that soft tire to pull a gap, and he cleared Rijat to take his first win, as I said. And there was Moksha and Jack, who played a beautiful team game for third and fourth, and with more calamity for our current world championship leader Critical, who only finished in 9th after collision with Pleasant Snake. They extended their advantage over some of these teams, because in terms of the Constructors World Championship, as we will see in a moment, it's still close. Gaza took a nice P5 home on this day, and Andy was 6th, followed by Nocivo, Fallison, who scored some points once again, and that was Critical. Pleasant Snake, we've already mentioned. Then I was Kovatska in front of Guy Rapke, and Tulips down Gesja, and they didn't have a good race. No pace, some spins as well, penalties I think were in there as well, so not a good race. Then we had a retirement for Hardcore, who hit the wall in turn 5. Frankjok finished, did not finish. Supermax and Shumi Formula also early doors, and a short day in the office for them. Drivers' Championship has now been reduced by some points, but Control is now second place instead of Andy. It's 70 points compared to the 81 from last race. And then Andy is demoted to third. Then we have Chaza in front of Jack, who moves up a place because John Mercer was missing, is also missing today. Jianpai was missing, is missing today. Moksha up into 8th position, really good from him. Pleasant down, Fellison stays the same. Then Bosnian, who is back for today. And other than that, some points also for Nocivo, but no more movement. And the Constructors World Championship looks like this. And I have to tell you, this is spicy, because as you can see, that's the second time only in this season that Ferrari, and with Ferrari I obviously mean Critical Damage, who has taken all of the points in this season so far for Ferrari, has only scored less than double-digit points in this season, and I was back on the first day back in the office for season 5, and I was in Spain. After that, we have Aston Martin in second, as well as Racing Bulls, who now move up with that win from Control to third on 133 compared to Aston Martin's 137. And then after that, it's Williams, who demote Red Bull even further on a 127, who, as you can see, and you might have guessed it, took the most points from last week, only by one, but that's still some gain. And Red Bull at 109. Mercedes is even trying to claw back some points, but yeah, Kovacs not really scoring, so that's Andy on his own. Alpine on 41. Then there was Sauber, Haas, as well as McLaren with 18, 13, and 11 respectively. Then we have today's track map, which is heading soon into the session. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. We have seen this race yesterday. It was kind of boring, but the result was fairly interesting and a strong showing from Lando Norris, who, despite fucking up the first lap once again, or the start, I should say, managed to completely control the race after passing Max Verstappen on lap 18. And today we have a hopefully dry race, because if this is gonna be wet, it's gonna be a horror show. I most hated track, equal on scoring with Mexico, so I'm glad I'm not racing that today. And prime opportunities for passing are into turns 1 and 3 if you fancy it. And that's basically it, because 11 is really tricky to get a good run. And other than that, you only see people who spin out being overtaken by other cars. Turns 3 to 7 are flat out, yes, especially in qualifying. 7 is flat out. Your car setup is obviously working for you. Some grass, some gravel traps, and a couple of walls on a very short but high speed lap. There are literally like 2 turns who are really slow, so 11, 12 maybe counted correctly. Interestingly, totally different line compared to real life, because you don't run as high up as they do in real life there. Can't recommend that. And there are 2 DRS zones, but obviously only the supported banking with the extended DRS zone throughout the whole turn, because it's flat anyways. And the banking pushes the car onto the track even more, helps with that. There's been an update to the driver's lineup. Once again, Hardcore has just left Haas, so there's another seat available. And after that, reserves have stayed the same. And yeah, let's head into the race for tonight. 70-60, I correct myself. And into qualifying. Okay, one is on the fine. We have out on track Control, our most recent winner. He is, and I kid you not, only the 3rd different winner this season. Out of 9 races, Critic has stood on the top step of the podium 6 times, and 1 more podium to his name, as you have seen there, twice in P9 this season. And there is a other winner than him, and that's from race 1 in John Meister, who took only podium and wins so far of the season. And after that, it's only Control. And Andy. Sorry Andy, missed you. But the math doesn't math then. Math isn't mathing. Yeah, that's 5 wins then. Because that was only race 9. One 5 race wins. 6, 7, 8. Was correct. So 4 different winners. 6 wins, 2 critical, 1 John Meister, that's 7. 8 for Andy and 9 for Control. His teammate, Pleasant Snake, is currently in the pit lane. They've been partnering for V-Cup for some time now, as Supermax, our only Haas driver has put in the first lap time of this session. There's no Seaborg McLaren in front of him. And there's Guy Rapke in 60. Just started a lap, and Control puts in at 12.5 and has been beaten by Feddersen on a 10.0. And that's our only Red Bull for tonight. Then we have 2 Kicksauber as Kesja fills in for Kesja fills in for Slayer as Andy Andre puts in a new fastest lap. And yeah, the Frank York home race. He is Dutch, so he's trying to have a good race. Not been the case for him recently, but still a couple of things to come. Yeah, Andy, as I said, in front now. Bosnian is the only Alpine still, and he's in second. And we have ladies teammate Kovetska in 6th now. There is Jack in 5th, and there's Moksha who will be completing his final run now. They onboard him. 1 minute 10 point something. 10.0 long showing here. Teammate by roughly 4 minutes. Gaza is the only Aston Martin for tonight, as we have Kismakus as well as his teammate and our current World Championship leader. Critical damage still in the pits. And I don't think I've missed someone. Oh. I assume we will be seeing high 1 minute 8 times from Critical as well as some other drivers. Jaza goes into P5 on a 10.03. Drankjuk over the line. Versus pitting, and Pleasant Snake has opted to stay on the medium tire he has selected earlier on. Interesting to see, especially with the recent changes to the tire allocation. He can't be on the harder allocation because a medium has been swapped. And he goes into P8 on a 10.6. So he's running a second medium. For sure. People starting another lap. Currently on a 110.8. Half a second behind. Let's go on board with him. Exiting turn 1 in 4th gear. Then that's a bit of a steep angle to go into for turn 3. And now it's flat out till turn 8, and he stays on the throttle, is brave enough to do so, then commits a bit too much on the outside, go up on the grass a bit. Still some charge used to compensate for that slight lock up apparently on the front left there, going into turn 10. Now this second and very short DS straight, as he is currently roughly 2.5 tenths down, and he aborts the lap. On board with Control because he's just that part, and Supermax has received a 5-place grid drop for collision with Fellison. Now we hit into the penultimate turn. DS is now moved to this spot very early on the final straight, you can say. Was sort of a line for a 1 minute 9.4, and that should be P2. Yes, that's correct. As critical damage is now starting a lap. So on board with him. Oh, he has finished the lap, sorry. See that right? Into P4 is also on a 1 minute 9.6. Still some margins to be found to improve to something that is below a 1 minute 9. Won't be achieved by Andy for now because this he has pulled into the pit lane. Aborted his run. Who is next? There was a Williams, there was Moksha into the pit lane. There is Jack still on a run. What about the McLaren? Sibo does not improve. Gas jar improves by 5 seconds. 40. Next would be Kovatska, but he's on an outlap. There's a Ferrari next to cross the line. That's Kismukus, 16.0. Guy up into the pit lane. And then we must be looking at Jack, who jumps up into P5 on a 9.938. Is currently just under, no, just over a tenth ahead of his teammate. Only split by the sole remaining Red Bull for tonight, which is Fellison, as Kismukus has spun. Does is also on an outlap. As is Fellison, no Sibo into the pit lane soon probably. There's a spin by Supermax, who hits the wall, is not retired. Because he went in front wing first. So that helped a lot with stopping the forces. Crawling over to his tire. Go to Chaza. Has been on a good run. Unfortunately, missing his teammate for the second race in a row. That can cost him compared to Williams. And as you can see right now, both of them are ahead. And if Williams again outscore Critical, they have a prime opportunity to close this down for next race, and then it's only gonna be 5 races left. Ideally, if Critical doesn't win, they want to be directly behind him, because the biggest gap is between P1 and P2, and you have to be very close, gain on someone who's winning. And there's Chaza pressing the overtake button to the fullest, and he goes into P5 on a 9.7, half a second improvement for the Brit that is in. Here's some of the number 5. Then we have Kovatska next. He was on a second outlap, starting his lap now. So yeah, in order to outscore the winner, you need to be yeah, basically third and fourth already, because it's gonna be equal on points if you are third and fifth. Because that's exactly 25 points on the dot. But also not losing too many points to someone who is way faster than yourself is a strong showing. And as I've just read to you, 6 wins compared to any other driver's win tally is still a strong showing. I'm 100% sure they would take a second, but even if Critical would win. This guy is down on his time as unselected his deployment, and next directly behind that is Fellison. Currently in P6. Half a second improvement would do him so good, but he has aborted his run. There is Guy Rapke finishing another attempt as we have approached the 5-minute mark. Repke goes into P8 and is being beaten by Pleasant Snake, but only by so much. 1 minute 10, 0:10 for the McLaren driver, and the V Carb with the number 13 puts in a 9.996. So that's only 14 thousandths of a second faster. Skismicus on and out lap. There's no Seaboard. No Seaboard it's on one as well. Starting his lap now. Oh, Crankyok has been disqualified. Blocking the pit lane. Andy is already out on his final attempt. Kesja has aborted this one. And Kismakus is still on one. And he spins. Just as I say that. Going to Sibo, who just has passed him. And over the line for the McLaren driver. That's slower for the moment. And Supermax goes into P13 on a 12-1. As Andy Andre is starting his final attempt. Fellison starting his final attempt. There's Kovacs as well. Kismakus has retired. Directly ahead. Or behind already. Where's Kovacs? Has been removed. Control currently the closest to Andy Andre. Can he beat the current pole position holder of Andy Andre? If you have an invalid lap time, you can start over in terms of fuel, but you need your battery to be charged. Let's see who be inside that crucial top 2, because other than that, winning is gonna be hard. No Seabo is slower for now. Checkered flag has not been waved, but Fellison over the line. Over the white line at the exit of turn 13. And he has binned it. And Andy Andre did so as well, I think. Because he was going suddenly very slow. And Kovacs had his second outlap as well. And he's starting again. There is control. Can he take provisional pole position? He cannot. He is slower. And there's Guy Rapke over the line to start another lap. Shaza as well. After that, that's Moksha. Oh, that was Jack over the line. Now Moksha. Can he improve? Yes, he can. He is 1,000th of a second in front of Chaza. Very important lap here. And next to cross the line to start his final attempt is Pleasant Snake. And then we have no Seabo once again. Still some fuel in the tank. It's time for improvement. Critical and Bosnian are next to cross the line to start their final attempt. 30 seconds on the clock. That one Mercedes here. Andy Andre is probably the last to start a lap, despite probably this being his only attempt left. And he has binned it again. His teammate is into the pit lane as well. Control has 6 seconds to go. Can he make it? He is the last to cross the line. Yes, he can do one more attempt. Guy Rapke aborts it. There's Shaza over the line. Goes to third. Now Jack only 7th. Strong showing from the Aston Martin driver who needs that. That's a 9.5 as Kestra crosses the line next. Stays on a 13.1. Moksha has to board it. There's Pleasant Snake to go to P5. And over the line for no Sibo because he's invalidated his lap time. What is the final attempt for Critic SA? And he goes to a provisional pole position. Can he be beaten by Bosnian Helmet, currently in 6th position? He cannot. He only takes 4th. And the Alpine is up there to fight for another attempt. What can Control do? He is the only guy to change any of these positions. He has some charge left that he can use on this final straight. Over the line now for the V-Cup driver currently in P3. He goes to pole position. Control takes pole position on his final run. Congratulations to V-Cup for this awesome pole position to beat Critical and Andy Andre to 2nd and 3rd, and I was so close, 23 thousandths of a second ahead of Critical, Andy Andre, then Bosnian Helmet, Chaza in 4th, Pleasant Snake 6th, Chaza 5th, Pleasant Snake 6th, then the Williams pair once again, so closely matched, 7 and 8, Fellison only 9th, Guy Rapke, Kovatska, no Sibo Supermax, and Gesture with Gizmokos setting an unrepresentative time, and Frank York in his home race being disqualified from qualifying, and he's probably very upset right now. Of course, if he doesn't like the track, and it's sunny. Wow. Pedersen had like 2 runs maybe, and blowed it. Can you believe it? Control went over the line as the last guy with like 3 seconds to go. And then goes out there to put in the fastest time of the session on the final attempt, 23 thousandths of a second faster than the next guy. Crazy lap, very well done, looked promising, and he converted it. And Feddersen is gonna be beating himself because he had 2 attempts. Messed up my last lap, invalidated last corner. Yeah, I had at least one of them on my screen, so yeah, 3 tenths at least. Yeah, that would have been a great improvement. But let's see what you can do in a race. Just gonna finish. Yeah, Williams probably would have liked a higher finishing position to that qualifying session. Starting from the meat grinder, yeah, that's true. You're gonna need some luck to survive that. I can give that advice for free. There's gonna be 1,000% chance of carnage as we await the formation laps. Yeah, Williams, my dark horse for the season, to be honest. Moksha looked so good, and obviously Jack was not really known, but early season podiums showed potential. Then there was a dip with one race absent, and obviously the win being thrown away by Moksha in Hungary. So, but they still recovered. They're playing the team game without communications in the Discord or on the TeamSpeak server, so that's quite impressive. watch that Saudi Arabian Grand Prix back because they were so into maximizing the team's points in a way you barely see it, because if you have someone in your Discord call or inside a TeamSpeak server, that's easy. You can coordinate a lot better, obviously, because talking is the only way while you're racing as well. So even if you would be a fast texter, there's no chance you'll be getting that out during a race, and you have basically your hands full anyway. So that is a good starting position to gain on Ferrari and Aston Martin, to be Cup as well, obviously. Can't be losing too many points to them, but it's going to be hard currently for Cup and Ferrari respectively, because they are a bit further ahead. So yeah, they need to execute something that works in their favor to move forward, to have at least one car in P5 or higher. And obviously spins, mistakes, collisions, maybe some weather can change the outcome. Spoilers to the weather, please. And the race will be starting in 1 minute. 1 minute. There we go. There's the formation
lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tires.
Speaking of tires, Andy, Andre, Gairab, Kovatska, Skesha, and Gizmokus are on the medium tire. How is Crankyok in front of Supermax? He was disqualified.
So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. But the question I'm asking is, which teams have got it right and which teams have got it horribly wrong?
I can tell you which team got it horribly wrong, and that is the team of AWS. Who thinks that the medium and the hard go the same distance, honestly? He's put it one lap before that. Fuck. Okay, the cars are on the starting grid. I wish I had a better perspective. Thank you very much. The 5 lights are out for this race, and we are going to what can only be described as one hell of a first turn. And there's Bosnian on the inside of Critical, who cannot convert that position change, as Andy Andre has been already demoted by 1 position. There's a lot of lagging going on here. ES disabled is fastest lap inside the purple window. What's going on here? Oksha had a spin. Ideally hope that might be a restart, because what the fuck is going on? There's so much lagging. Yeah, Chaza's down to 16. Had a spin, had a collision there. Moksha 12. There's Fellison and 13. There's no wing missing here, but for the Williams, Nocebo's now fighting Supermax for P8. What is going on here? The Haas driver has just catapulted him to the front, as the top 6 have already dispatched the rest of the field, because there's a 2.1 second gap to the next car. Gonna hope Control sets up fastest time, and Supermax is off. Supermax is off. Briefly, there's gas jar spinning on the exit curb there as well. Irapka overtaking Crankyok because he has spawned. Shaza overtakes everyone. There are pit stops, but I don't see it on the timing tower. Thank you so much. You can disable pit stops? Didn't know that before. Okay. What kind of... on? Or maybe it just came back, I have no idea. Hards for Guy Rapke, Moksha onto new mediums as Ledger goes to new softs. Yeah, some drivers have some ground to cover now. And his main task is gonna be staying within that pack. Having the advantage from that DRS. As Fellison goes around the outside of turn 14 to pass Kismakus. Very well done. Nice heli shot there. Oh. Good, sorry. Not yours. As Kranko has received the 10-second time limit for speed in the pit lane, and Moksha is into the pit lane again. To go to another set of mediums. And another front wing change. That is not the race they have been wanting. I'm very interested to see how they will manage these soft tires. My race on Tuesday last week wasn't long enough to see how many laps they could do. As there's a late move on my screen, at least from Control, who immediately locks up, is now side by side with critical damage, and now has to bail out into turn 3. And there's a spin almost by Bosnia because he locks the brakes, almost hitting the back of Control. Now there's Andy Andre in a position to gain off of that collision. There's another leg spike by Critical. Maybe that was or is only client-sided for him. No idea. Also Pleasant Snake and Jack are still within these DS windows they are giving each other, and there's Fellison moving past the Supermax into turn 9 actually. That's quite a rare spot, but these drivers are very far away from each other in terms of pace, as Charla has dispatched Ismakus. Is there a chance for a repass for the lead? Control. There's a lot of lagging going on from Critical. I have the feel that everyone is being distracted, and there is a DNF for Frank York, who will not finish his home race. Somewhere off the track, I couldn't even see here. In the inside that gravel trap on the outside of turn number 9. As we can see, there's a virtual safety car out now. So the kickstarter can be removed. As Crickler has somehow extended that gap over a second. Virtual safety car. Lap 4. And we are racing once again. That was a very short one. Andy is trying to pass Bosnian into turn 11. They make a slight. They have a slight contact there. But around the outside, he has overtaken the Alpine. Where else has the opportunity? And he is almost losing the DS. They're side by side. No, but they are touching. The inside line is not the best here for turn 1 actually. And there's no Sibo going down the field, as there's a spin from Kismakus. Kowalska is fighting here for his life. And oh, Critical spun at the exit out of 3! And now Control takes the lead of the race as the Ferraris drop back to 6. We've just been watching Felix and Kovacs and Nocebo going at each other into turn 1. But after that, on the exit of 3, the Ferrari has lost car control and is now down to 6th position. Currently 3.6 seconds outside it. Yeah. Outside Jack, so there's no DRS for him right now. This has been from Gizmicus. Has lost both of his end plates, and Moksha into P15. Passing the so remaining Big Sauber. Let's see if all of this boosting inside this DRS train led by the leader of control actually helps them to get away from critical or not. Because inside some of these corners, just like this one, you're dragging and pulling yourself back into this group by just braking in a certain way the person behind you does not expect it. As they head for the second DR zone of this track. Being 2 tenths behind someone on this part of the track doesn't mean anything in terms of overtaking opportunities, as Kismikos has opted to head to the pits. We watch from the rear wing of Andy Andre to see that control is now on the inside. That turns to the outside for number 3, but Andy stayed ahead by the time they got to the second turn, despite control being on the outside of 1 for a passing opportunity. VCAP are managing this quite a nicely, huge point swing for them, getting away from Williams and Aston Martin, as Charles is almost there, back into the points. There's a lapped car, the teammate of 6th placed, critical damage in control, currently on the softs. Bit irritating, but nothing they could not manage. And what's that spin? 6? Just putting my notes down here. No opportunity for either Bosnian or Snake. Take ahead. Obviously, a reminder for you in terms of the tire strategies. Oh, slight oversteer moment from control. Is there an opportunity for Bosnian, but that is like the worst place to have an overspeed over the car ahead, because there's only a single 5 through turns 4 to 7 on this track. And all of them will be pitting for Andy. And roughly around lap 12 to 16, as there's more lagging on my screen. Kaza has passed Supermax for 10th. And we'll be looking to close the gap to Kovacs 9th. And then after that, it's 5-second gap. That's still not bad. Like, he is still above. Oh, there's a free wide moment! There's a free wide moment! Bosnian! And control overtake Andy Andre into turn 1. Wow! I did not expect that to happen on this track. And Andy Andre is under pressure from Pleasant Snake. There's been a slight touch of their wheels. Front left to rear right. What the fuck? How did they just do that? They were so close together. they use a lot of ERS? But not really. 50% is not much. What the fuck? And now Bosnian overtakes control on this part of the track. Okay, there's another DS straight, the better one coming up for you. And Critic is actually pulling back into the window. Either his pace is so great or all of this battling is helping. Control uses overtake and repasses Bosnian for first. The Alpine is still inside, touches the inside apex curb a bit and then loses out to the V car. You can see how close Critic is once again. He can undercut all of them and go to the hard tire. Could also go to the medium and undercut them. Now there's pressure from Andy Andre, as there's a 3-second time penalty for Kesja in P14, but is currently the next car to be lapped by our leading group of soon 6 cars. Allison doesn't seem to have the pace. I wanted to talk about tires. Andy Andre is gonna extend, or basically is staying out longer than everyone else. Supermax needs to pit again. Moksha is now past Guy Rapke into P12. He needs to be pitting again. Put on a fresh medium here. The Guy Rapke can go really long, and the bottom 2 will again if they make it. And Bosnian is now trying to defend. Oh, and Andy Andre hits the inside of control and spins around. There's a huge collision into turn 1 on lap 12. As both the V Cup and the Mercedes of Andy Andre hit each other after Andy locked up, trying to overtake Bosnian, who's still in second place for P2 and now has lost out to Critical as well. Is his car damaged? Not on the visual side, at least from this of this perspective view. Oh my word, Andy! Now everyone, now everyone in front of you is gonna pit. So you can't be undercutted in this kind of way. And now it's in V Cup 1-3. After winning in Saudi Arabia last time out, Control is now leading the race with one less car directly behind him, but one more car that is friendly towards him, and that is his teammate. As Chaza has overtaken Kovatska after a spin here. And is close to Nocebo. But it's a 10-second gap after that to Phillison, who is also climbing time back. He's winning more and more over this group that is currently still fighting. And it has been reshuffled in the order after what has just happened on the lap before. Yeah, if you brake inside someone's dirty air on this game and you don't adjust brake balance to the front, then you just lose the car in the braking. Obviously makes sense. Less draggy air is gonna slow you down. So the initial braking phase is coming from your downforce, which is obviously minimized by a gap being pushed into the air from the car in front. So what helps with slipstreaming on straights, as Kovetska, Chaza and Nocebo can't stop the battle. Chaza and Kovetska only, sorry. Nocebo is... So what? No, he's directly... Why is it saying 11 seconds in between them? Oh no, that's the Fellison. Sorry. It's a chance for Pleasant Snake. Or Bosnian had to adjust his line here through turn 6. And Pedersen is losing right now. 6.4 seconds now. Gizmokus has overtaken Gesja. More blue flags are being shown. Ooh. Ooh. One of these drivers are... Well, I don't know. Yeah, what I was trying to say is, obviously you have some dirty air to follow in corners closely behind someone. And on the straight, are punching a hole into the air helps you with top speed, but under braking when the hole is still there, you lose downforce. And Fellison is into the pit lane to trigger the undercut on everyone ahead. 6 seconds undercut is probably going to be quite a tough task, but he has a small gap to pit into just behind Fellison and Nocebo, who are now occupying P8 and P9. Small gap, I say this. A huge gap actually. The biggest one I've maybe ever seen. And Supermax has spawned once again. And Gaia Rapke and Moksha are closing in on him. Will Bosnian try to re-overtake Control into this chicane? Press the button to 13 seconds also for Supermax, who will be now serving 10 of these. And Bosnian is in a prime position to overtake E1 on board with the Alpine driver. Has roughly... Oh, and they're both pitting! They're both pitting just right now. As Pleasant Snake... Oh, Control takes a 10-second time penalty for speeding! That's huge! He just thrown away the win! Any safety car is gonna hurt him now. So he needs to be staying on focus, full concentration now. Pleasant Snake has not been... There's a 10-second time penalty for Chars as well! Stop throwing your good results into 60 kph pit speed at Zandvoort. Some famous driver has said before. Surely. Obviously, no one has said that before. I just did. And Annie Andre is outside of the DRS win of Pleasant Snake. You should push, my guy. Because your teammate just has thrown it away. Listen to the hearts. Yeah, okay, the other guys pitted for the mediums, which is a bit unlucky now for him. 18 seconds. 18 seconds. Ease the gap. You need to have at least to be, I think, side by side. Let's see if it actually is the case. Control is still leading on paper. And will overtake his teammate. With a very high chance. He is now being let loose. Let's see. And he lost out to Jack. Now they're side by side, but he has the colder tires. And almost spins. Oh no! Critical spins in the background! Another mistake by the current World Championship leader and World Championship holder of critical damage, as the race has been reopened for the win. Oh, there's a mistake by Control. Can Bosnian take him around the outside of turn 10? There's a switchback opportunity. There's now a huge chunk of ERS being thrown at the V-Cup, as there's another yellow flag behind, and Bosnian takes the net race lead on lap 17. There must be something on the setup of the Ferrari that is not to his liking, as Control is trying to re-overtake Bosnian. Jack had no opportunity to repass Pleasant Snake. There's a switchback, but that is still the better line for the Alpine, and you should use that if you have the opportunity to. So, pit stop for Chaza again. And he is retired in the pit lane. And has left the session. Oh! Oh no! Both V-Cups have spun! But Control got it wrong! Control got it severely wrong! How did both spin all of a sudden? Now Bosnian is in second, and Jack is promoted to third, and there's more yellow flags. What is going on with Control? Did his equipment just fail? He just... Oh my word! What is going on? What is he doing? Both of them were going sideways into that turn on that shot as Bosnian takes the fastest lap of this race. Now the whole top 6 are split. And Fellowson passes Kovačka for 6. Oh my word, it was... Some of these races, I just have... The Control is retired. Control is retired from the race. I just can't catch my breath, honestly. In some races this season, as Guy Röpke is now going for what is effectively P9 now, as they both are passing Control, who's just retired in the pit lane. But Moksha holds it around the outside to stay ahead of the McLaren. In some of these races, I've just really enough time to put down some notes here. Today, this race is just total carnage. Now, Guy Röpke has lost it out. Just can't speak anymore. Guy Röpke has just lost it out of turn 3 as well. Who's actually fighting who? Who's fighting it? That's Jack against Pleasant Snake. Outside line for turn 2. That turns to the inside line for turn 3. For the Williams driver, they're still side by side. Next turn is a left. Next turn is a right. What is this? Olympic synchronized driving or what? Put on the same livery next time then. Snake takes third position away to salvage something for V-Cup. And there's another spin. Oh, DNF though. As Andy Andre is in the prime position to win this once again because he's on a tire that is currently dying very fast. But the gap Bosnian is currently undercutting him by is enough with the laps remaining after his pit stop to win that win back, because the ticket is probably also an easy pass here today. As Bosnian has already dispatched P3 by 4 seconds. That's huge. Oh my word, I just can't comprehend how they both spun at the same time in the same corner somehow. My processing unit is a bit slow today as Kovačka heads to the pit lane. Goes to the soft tire now, so I expect the teammates to do the same soon. Person 7 seconds now behind. Moksha once again into the pit lane and needs to do something different here. And the race leader comes into the pit lane. Wow. Where you will be rejoining the group as there's a spin. And critically take Jack here as Bosnian takes the lead of the race. Inside line, and he is far enough ahead to be on the podium once again. Oh my word. So, reminder of the position changes for you. 4 up for Pleasant as well as Jack. Forward scan and NOC both 5 for Supermax even. 1 down for critical, 2 down for Andy, 10 for Charger and 13 for control. Press off to Andy now. Is there a chance for critical? Nope. And he will be looking forward to this battle, because these two had a chat about their coming together in Saudi, where Critical clearly thought that Pleasant Snake was in the wrong. And here's the opportunity to pay him back and get rid of his second position. And Andy Andre is the next probably to get rid of someone else's position, and that is Jack in a couple of moments time. Maybe at the end of this lap or at the start of next lap, because he already in that DRS window. See if Critical has enough pace to close the gap down to Bosnian, because if there's one opportunity or one thing he could take advantage of, is to try and stay behind Andy Andre as soon as Andy has passed Critical, because he can bring them both into the DRS window of Bosnian. They boost each other, as Andy Andre is now into 4th position after overtaking Jack into the turn 11 and 12 chicane, also known as the ODS from some years back. And there's an opportunity for Pleasant Snake to go by on Critical, but there's Andy Andre on the inside of both of them. Huge move by the Mercedes driver to take 2nd position. And if you two fight, I'm gonna be the one who's laughing. Oh my word, Andy, you are going to win this for sure. Hashtag Jinx. What a move! Holy shit! My pants are wet. This is racing. Beautiful. So now this is gonna be for the last podium position between Pleasant, Critical and Jack. And Andy has taken the fastest lap by storm, obviously. A lot of slipstreaming, yes. Overall better traction out of corners. Yadi, yadi, yadi. You know the drill. Someone is on fresh tires, and that's now 3.2 seconds of a gap. As there's more lagging going on here. Biggest thing you have to overcome, as Critical is now on the inside of Pleasant Snake once again. Is there a switchback move by the V-Carb? No. Biggest thing, obviously, if you start on the other tire, is that you need to, first of all, don't lose them too much and too early. Second is, be hopeful of there's no early safety car. And after that, just make sure there's enough pace left of the soft tire, or just the fresher tire you have then. Yeah, well, the beta compound is a very important part in that sentence. You have enough time left to overtake all of these drivers before the end of the race. And Andy has done that in a couple of different races, on a couple of different tracks. Has won this season's City Season Racing League Portuguese Grand Prix with that strategy. And because when everyone is on the same tire and pits, relatively near to each other in terms of time and spacing, they are just gonna undercut themselves and they restart the fight, because usually it's gloves off and fight on after your pit stop. And if you have been racing any of the previous F1 games, you know for yourself that Kesha has decided yet enough that the one-stop strategy is usually the way to go in a 50% race, because tire preserving is way too easy because scaling is wrong. They don't know how to make tires work. As Moksha is now being lapped in P9. And there is DRS for Andy Andre available to use already, and he's closing in on Bosnian to take the lead on to take the lead on lap 27. Yeah, he would like to take the league as well, but that currently belongs to Critical. As them off touch on the exit. That was a love tap by the Mercedes. But I'm sure Bosnian is more worried about how to stay behind the Mercedes now, because he needs that gap to be extending instead of shrinking down. And you can see tire life is only up by is only better for Pleasant Snake. 1 lap. Fellison is still falling back here. Everyone else is not having a fight on the end as of right now. That's only available here for you to watch right now. For P3 between V-Carb, Ferrari and Williams, as all of these drivers have finished on the podium before. Let me check that. And Critical has re-overtaken Snake. Yeah, Snake has 1, Jack has 2, and 7 to Critical as he just teleports all over the track once again. This is not great. I hope there's no collision because of that now, as they go side by side once again. Teammate ahead is being ghosted. And Snake stays ahead before they reach turn in for turn 6. Because that fast swing up the hill is just so crucial for you position yourself for braking for 7. And yeah, the battling is slowing them down obviously, but I don't think they were expecting to be getting back to Bosnian because his pace was surreal. And on same tires, on the same strategy, maybe there was opportunity for Bosnian. I feel that the soft tires being worn at the end are still going faster, but he can prove me wrong. Attempt number 375 million to get P3 from Critical, as there are more legs, but he is not losing the position. Very discomforting for the drivers behind. No one wants to experience that. What is the ERS for the top 2? 10% more for 2, okay. For these 3? That's Jack on some more. He should use that soon. He needs to pass 2 people. Sometimes if you're the guy behind who's obviously benefiting from the slipstreaming, also suffering from a tiny bit more in terms of dirty air, it's good to use your ERS to show that you are faster, because if you do it right, people start to panic, especially in the last couple of race laps. There's a good chunk being used by Jack now. Completely overthrows what I just said. Used 50% not to get by. Either his exit is shit out of 13 or his top speed is a yoke. As Bosnian has now lost another 1.6 seconds to our winner. Sorry if I jinxed it now. I don't think I have, but this race has just flown by, to be honest. Very entertaining and nothing but spectacle, and no safety car, which is also good. To be honest, I think the worst track in terms of getting time off your racing clock, basically, in terms of like how the race feels, is still somehow Mexico with a lot of laps. Like, I don't like this track, but the laps feel so slow compared to that. Especially in high fuel. It's like, just be slow enough not to spin or lose the car because grip is not high. Also, Austria feels like a lifetime because you always feel like the DRS boosting is like is slowing you actually down. And after that, there is no other track than Zandvoort to have 36 laps. But Hungary and Canada have 35. Which, yeah, Hungary feels a bit slower. So what is the strategy here? 20%, 86, 83. Snake, use your battery because he can't push against that. It has the DS window. Bosnia is now 4.3 seconds behind our race leader. There's a gap of 3.4 seconds between P2. As Jack is trying an alternative line, goes to the inside here of 2 and uses the outside upper line to go through 3 side by side, and now ahead of Pleasant Snake as Fellison pits for a late charge to the fastest lap. He has a gap of more than 20 seconds to the next car, and makes a lot of sense to take a point away that is currently belonging to Andy Andre on a 1 minute and sorry, wrong button. 1 minute 10.7 to 0. As the gap has been extended by Critical now to 1 second. Only there is for Pleasant Snake. They need to pull in once again. Jack has used some of his charge. It's now equal. Even worse now than Critical, but is back into the DRS window. They're just gonna stop each other from processing onto the podium. To be honest, for the championship, Critical losing both of the positions would be hella funny and good for some action and fights for the championship win, because Andy, yeah, is gonna gain the most and is gonna pull in on him for now. Because Control, as you can see on your left hand side, has retired, and he was, after his win in Jeddah, the closest challenger behind Critical. And Critical, if he stays in this position, gonna extend the Control, but not to Andy Andre. What's the play here? RS 80 to 50 to 40. Still enough to get away. There's a 3-second time penalty for Guy Rapke, who is not losing their position to Supermax, and they are fighting? What's going on here? The timing tower is bugged as hell. 2 tenths behind. I don't see that here. Okay. Jack under 2 tenths behind Critical. First overtaking opportunity as Fellison pips Andy to the fastest lap just now. Is gonna be on this lap or at the start of next lap into turn 1. To be honest, Critical looks more sophisticated inside that second sector. Especially this turn. A lot better by him. 6.3 is the gap now. 2 by Andy. Yeah, his rival behind is closer than him. Next and last opportunity is gonna be turn of 1 on the next lap, on the final lap. They are keeping it cool. That's their 30-second ad, for fuck's sake. Bosnian is also probably not liking Moksha being behind him so much. Who is gonna blink first? Who is gonna have the opportunity to stand on that final spot on the podium? Currently, it's inhibited by critical damage in front of Jack and Pleasant Snake. Sorry for that fucking ad break. Didn't see that coming. Should have snoozed it. The final lap is being started by Andy soon. Let's see what kind of plan they are all following here, because Snake is currently so much more in that opportunity, in that prime position to take at least 4th here. And he starts the fastest lap now. Only 4 kilometers left for the Mercedes driver to take a second win in the season after Hungary. What is going on here now? Jack is all over the back of Critical as Snake hits it a bit. Still has more ES charge he could use right now. And oh, that was so close. Almost Jack going side by side there. Is Snake playing the long game for that final straight? But he would need some utterly disgusting overspeed in terms of his ES charge to make anything work. Doesn't seem to be the opportunity here, or lying here for them. Into the final corner in Zandvoort. It's another win by another driver, and he takes his second win after a decisive showing here. Stayed out of trouble, had the alternative strategy. Bosnian will finish second, but there's Critical. There's Snake. Snake is taking Jack on the line. There he was. 29,000 of a second. Faster than the Williams, just because of his charge. No Sibo, Moksha, and Guy Repka through as well in 8th, 9th, and 10th respectively. And Fellison is next to cross the line with 33 seconds behind P5 after a late pit stop. To push for the fastest lap, he is currently holding as well. Was in the meat grinder, like you said. We need some insight on that because there was so much lagging going on. And the final driver to cross the line is Kovacs, and that's huge for Mercedes in terms of... Oh no, that's Kismikus out there as well still, sorry. And that's gonna be huge in terms of points, because Aston is not scoring, Mercedes is definitely scoring more than Williams, more than VCARB, and more than any other team. And that's it. What a great race, honestly. Enjoyed that so much. Hope you did as well. And now we will be heading very soon to a break. I just want to make sure that the final result is on screen as well. And a bit of the celebration on the podium. I'm just gonna skip that because that took so long to load. There we have it. Andy takes the win on a medium to soft strategy. Boston is second, followed by Critical who had 2 spins. And there was Pleasant Snake just clinching P4 over the line. Over Jack, there was Fellison with the fastest lap. Kovacs on the final lap there with the leaders. Then 8th for Nocibo, 9th Moksha after an early incident. Switch to 2-stop Guy Rapke, 10th. Super X 11th, 12th is Kismakos, and non-finishers were Gesture, Control, Chaza, and Krank-York, who did not score points in his Home race. We will be heading to a short break for some interviews. Stay tight. And we are back for some driver interviews after today's Netherlands or Dutch Grand Prix. And we have Andy Andre in first position tonight. Congratulations, Andy, on that beautiful victory. There was a different strategy in play for you. You made that work, and that looks so easy at the end with a 6-second gap over second place Bosnian. That was your second win also in the season after Hungary. How do you feel after this race?
Hi. Great. A bit tired, but very happy. It was a good one for me. I love this track honestly, and I'm happy I managed to get a win here. Yeah, as you said, I went for a bit of a different strategy. I was expecting to go medium hard, but the wear on the mediums was very good, and I thought I'd keep him on a bit longer and hope for a safety car, because by the time the guys went in to change their softs, I was about P6, I think, so I had a lot of positions to make up. So I stayed out in hope of a safety car to, yeah, hopefully do a late change on the softs and also come out in the lead. But it wasn't to be. I had to go in on normal race pace, and I came a few positions behind. I think it was still about P6 or about something like that. But the pace on the softs was amazing with the low fuel at the end, and I managed to make all the positions up quickly, and even build a 5 or 7 second gap, which I think will come in handy because I was involved in a bit of an incident, and I don't know how that will end up. I went for an overtake in the first turn, and I went a bit too deep, and I
Okay.
had a bit of a contact. I had a bit of a contact with the control. I think it was. I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm happy I managed to pull the gap at the end, and hopefully the win is safe.
Okay, yeah, that obviously will be looked into by the stewards, but at least from my side, I did not see that as a big of an issue. That has been your first podium since Belgium. There has been a bit of a slump, and the gap has opened up to the top one position that is still inherited by Critica. You still seem to be going on in some of these races very strong. Obviously, we are now starting the final third of this season. And obviously, the next race is going to be in Monza. How do you feel about the next track and obviously the last final parts of the season that will conclude at the end of September? What is your main target before we head out for the finale in Brazil? Andy?
Oh, sorry. uh,
Okay.
Sorry, I thought you said critical at the beginning, and I thought you had already moved on. I was
No.
I was waiting for him to give a reply. I don't know. You asked about Monza. It's a bit of a tough track for me. You have to get everything perfectly. And you have to be very aggressive on the curbs and take a lot of risks. So yeah, it's not kind of my favorite track. But oh, we'll see. We'll just take it one race at a time, and hopefully, I'll manage to get it safe to the end.
Okay. Very well. Okay, then wishing you the best of luck for Monza next week and have a great evening. See you.
Thank you. Thank you. See you.
And second place goes to Bosnian helmet for Alpine. You can unmute yourself, please. Ah,
Okay,
there we go. Okay.
hello, Herman. How are you?
Hello. I'm great. That was such a great race. So let's talk about it. Obviously, there's been a whole bunch of overtakes and fights throughout this race. You were going very strong after the pit stops. Then obviously Andy extended, got out behind you, and obviously then started to climb back to you with the fresher tires. But you stayed in a position where not attacked by the drivers behind and finished in a strong second place. What are your feelings about this race today? And do you feel there was a bit more in it, or was that the most you could achieve today?
Yeah, firstly, big thanks to you. You're doing a great job. I can't wait to hear to see the stream again. So tomorrow. So well done, mate. Just keep pushing.
Thank you.
And congrats to Critical and to Andy. He drove a really great race. I think that we actually, in some way, we helped Andy. When I say we, I think Critical and some other guys who were on softs on first stint because of constant fighting. In my opinion, it was unnecessary and really aggressive, especially in turn one. So I almost got damaged by one occasion. So it's really unnecessary. So that helped a bit Andy to stay with the group, and later on with that big difference in the pace and tires, you can't really anything. You can't do anything about it. So strategically, it was a great race from Andy, but it was actually our fault a bit. So at the end, really happy with second place. I drove. Actually, I can't remember any mistake that I made. Maybe one just warning. It was unnecessary, but okay. So all in all, after vacation, I got back and ready to race for the rest of the season and prepare for the next one.
Yeah, that has been your third second place already in this season, and you only started 4 races, which is also a reflection of the holiday you've been talking about. So, how do you go into the final third of the season, trying to get obviously as many races under your belt as well, getting to maybe know these guys more and try to set up what it could be maybe a championship challenging fight for season 6? What do you think
Yeah,
about this?
yeah, maybe I'll try to enjoy the rest of the season, so have fun with these races. But I was sweating all the race, so it's not easy, you
Yeah.
can say. But I can see the difference in driving styles. I remembered critically he has a really aggressive, so something that with F124 has came up, that aggressive turn in. So he has that, maybe a bit more tire wear about that. And the other guys are more or less there, but not as consistent as critical. So that's the key, to be consistent in every track. So I'll try to be at best on every track further ahead. So in next few races, I'll be here every week. I hope so. So let's have fun and enjoy.
That sounds very, very good to my ears. I hope we have as a great race as we had today next time out in Monza. What do you think of this track, and what do you expect from yourself in terms of your finishing position?
Um, it's not my favorite track, same as Zandvoort. So those tracks aren't my favorite. So the Monza will be really challenging. As Andy said, it has that those aggressive curbs. You need to have a risk. So it will be crucial to find a perfect setup between top speed and that riding curb. So suspension setup wise, suspension will be crucial, but many opportunities for overtaking. So we will see. I hope that we will all enjoy with you, especially on the commentary place. So
I
we'll
hope
see.
so as well. Okay, then wishing you the best of luck for Monza, and see you in 7 days' time.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we move on to third position. That is our Ferrari driver, Critical Damage.
Hello.
Hello. So, there was something in this race that didn't really work for you, at least from my perspective. There were 2 spins, one out of turn 3 and one into turn 3 during that race. Then you fought back, left both Jack and Pleasant Snake there behind you in the final stages, and secured the podium here. Feels like a bit of a damage limitation of what if could have been maybe another win for you. How do you reflect on this race so far?
Yeah, it was really, really frustrating because indeed the first spin I just saw on the chat on Control's POV that it looked like I spun out of nothing, but on my screen at least and on my wheel, yeah, there was a hit from behind, so yeah, it looked like I got spun out. I lost. I don't know. I went from P1 to P6, and I was 4.5 or 5 seconds away from the group. But yeah, it was interesting to see how my pace actually was. So I was happy because I gained those seconds back in, I don't know, 4 laps or something like that. So the pace was really there. Then yeah, I pitted with the guys, tried to do an undercut, but I wasn't sure how the mediums would behave at the end, so I went on the safe option of pitting lap 15, I think. And then yeah, it was just a waiting game, but Snake came out of the pits and turn 3 or 4, I think. Everybody braked and there was a cloud of smoke. I couldn't see anything. I just hit the brakes so that I don't hit the guys in front, and of course I spun out again. And lost another 6 or 7 seconds. But again, the pace was there. I gained them back, but yeah, I could only manage a P3 today.
Yeah, okay, I see why that happened because, as I already stated, you looked a bit laggy to me today, so some of these things didn't make really sense at the time. Let's take a look before we go ahead and predict something about your Monza race. There's been a recent change in terms of the Constructors World Championship. Loads of teams have been putting good work in recently. Obviously, you had a slightly worse race last time out in Jeddah, and both of the Williamses finished high up. Today there was a whole bunch of different cars fighting there in the top positions, and other were slightly compromised after turn one. So obviously your teammate has been not scoring for you, and the Constructors World Championship is gonna be on your shoulders. The last third of the season is now approaching. How do you make sure that you are fighting the right guys to also secure this title? Because you seem to be quite untouchable in overall consistency to make sure that you are back-to-back world champion. What is your plan in terms of fighting these different types of teams? And obviously a whole bunch of different people are always inside of your rear view mirror. So yeah, how do you see this fight going on at the moment?
Well, I don't really think about the Constructors Championship because there isn't much else I can do apart from going for the win and scoring as many points as I can each week. But unfortunately, the last two races were compromised by connection and lag or whatever else this is. So I lost quite a lot of points these two races. So hopefully the last five, I think, remaining in the season will go better.
Okay, then a quick look ahead to Monza in 7 days' time. What do you think about your team's home track, and what do you think is possible there?
Well, the track is fine for me. It was the first race of the last season, and it was quite interesting battle with Andy Farhasan and Ninja. So a lot of stuff can happen there, especially turn one. But it depends a lot. If my connection causes any more issues, then maybe I won't race anymore. I'm not sure. It's not worth it to to have internet issues and lose points and waste time and also compromise the race of others. So we'll see.
I hope that gets fixed, because obviously you being inside that fight is obviously more entertaining than you not being there. I'm wishing you the best of luck to Monza as well, and hopefully, fingers crossed, your connection stays stable. Thank you very much for your insights, and see you in 7 days' time.
Thanks. Bye bye.
And on to what can only be described as a bit of a damage limitation for our Williams driver today is Moksha in P number 9. Moksha, let's talk about turn 1. There was nothing really on my screen I could see that has caused this issue, and you have already chatted about it inside the Discord. Tell me what has happened there in turn 1 from your perspective.
I think there happened a lot. I mean, I think the Chaza went a bit too far outside, catch the grass, lost the car a bit. I tried to avoid to hit him. Then I needed to take the turn very tight, and that was the moment I got a hit. I'm not really sure how it happened. Fellison said that he was it. I mean, he was a bit devastated last week that we scored so many points, so he took me out now. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it was a racing incident, very unlucky, but it ruined my whole race. After my third stop, I came out behind Bosnian, so I had a bit time to show my pace there. And I think I had the pace today to drive in the front, but it is how it is. Unlucky, and that's racing. And next week I will try to push again. So.
Yeah, you were saying it's only racing, but before the racing, especially on this track, qualifying was quite important, and that was so tight between everyone. You were at one stage only 1,000 ahead of Chaza, who was also very crucially out of this race for your team's championship. So what do you think was maybe going for you inside that qualifying session? Because obviously 7th and 8th for the team doesn't look great on paper, but it was so close, and obviously you want to be starting in front of many people to make sure that they stay behind. Despite undercuts being a thing, did you think the quali helped you, or did it compromise you? Was there more time to be found on that lap?
Actually, I was until the last corner of my last lap, I was 4 tenths up, and then I misjudged the battery. I pushed it too much on the first straight, and I think there was more time in it than I actually drove.
4/10, that's huge. Okay. Yeah, maybe something to look out for Monza as well. There are a lot of straights there and a totally different track. Also, who knows if there's rain. So, what do you think of the Temple of Speed in Monza, and what do you expect from yourself in terms of finishing position?
Historically, I was pretty fast at Monza. This on the 24 version, I didn't drive many laps. I got a bit of training tomorrow, so let's see. I'm not sure compared to the other guys how fast I am.
Okay, still wishing you the best of luck, and hopefully less carnage for everyone in turn 1. Despite a lot of cars being shuffled around there, we still had no full safety car, which is always good to see and helps the action. So, yeah, hoping the best for you, and see you in 7 days' time, hopefully. And
Yes.
yeah, okay, this has been it. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to leave this channel a follow to see more action of this league. For the final third part of this season, we're heading to Monza, Vegas, then it's Azerbaijan, Singapore, and Brazil. Our finale once again, and we have more races. If you are not keen on waiting for Monza next time, check out Sim Racing Heat on YouTube to make sure that you have been informed of any races that have happened already this season or have been broadcasted by me. So yeah, take a look, enjoy those. Especially Miami is a good shout, very entertaining to watch. And hopefully we see you soon in 7 days' time. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Ta-da!